I'm backstage at Bloodstock with Vektor, and I have with me
David DeSanto.
How has your Bloodstock experience been so far?
Well, we just got thrown into it because we had a 4 a.m. flight from Portugal, and we threw all of our instruments backstage, and then I came over to the press tent. So I think it's going to get better from here on out.
So not too stressed out about your set, or are you feeling all right?
I'm not stressed about playing, but I hope I have time to change my strings.
Yeah. Oh no. You mean change the strings?
I have a backup guitar, but it always sucks when you break a string.
Yeah. But it'll all go fine.
Yes.
I know that there are a lot of, including myself, a lot of people who are really looking forward to
So I hear.
seeing you guys. Yeah.
Apparently we're like kind of a big deal over here in the UK. So.
Yeah, and I'm seeing you in London, like not too soon.
Sweet.
As well.
We'll be playing a longer set in London.
That'd be great. So, is this your first time being at Bloodstock?
Yes.
Yeah. And you think that your experience hasn't been very long, I suppose, but do you kind of getting a sense
It
of...
looks like a blast. Honestly, I can't wait to have a beer, probably like during or after our set, and then relaxing and having fun and watching bands. And I think I really need to check out the carnival ride. It looks intense.
Yeah, that'd be great, yeah. And so, when you're finished with your set today, do you guys have to rush off, or you get to chill out for a little bit?
We get to chill. We have a day off tomorrow, which is like going to be great. I get to finally sleep on this tour. This first 4 days are like insane. But after this, it's more like a normal tour routing, not as much crazy flying and stress.
Has it been pretty intense then?
Yeah. Yeah, the first day, I mean, we played Brutal Assault, and then we just had an 11-hour drive to the Netherlands. Well, it ended up being like 13. We played Netherlands, and then next day we flew, well, we had 2 shows in the Netherlands. Flew to Portugal, and then this morning, 4 a.m. flight.
I don't know how you do it.
I don't know. I just had a Red Bull, it kind of helped.
So the new release, obviously, has been doing really, really well. The whole concept of the album. How are you guys feeling about the reaction that?
I didn't expect that. It was, I don't even know the words. Like, oh no, we're not worthy or something. I don't know. It was cool. Like the people calling it like album of the year, and people like there's a lot of people calling it a masterpiece. And I'm like, what? Thank you, but it's crazy.
Yeah, but you guys know it really well, so you know it as you guys.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, for us it was like, I don't know. We chipped away at it for so long, and I guess everybody else just got it all at once. So it was probably different.
But it was based on, I'm trying to think of how you say the word. Cygnus? Is that how you... Cygnus. It seems like there was a lot of like background research and sort of thought that went into it, and it's just like it must have felt great to finally...
Yeah, like I had this about 5 years ago. I was like, I had this kind of idea of like, I want this concept to be about life and death, like cosmic balance. And I remembered back to like the Rush song Hemispheres, and it talks about there's a lyric that says we will call you Cygnus, the god of balance you shall be. And I just kind of rethought about that when I was coming up with the concept, and did some research on Cygnus, and it's the swan atop a stellar tree, and that tree is really like the arm of our Milky Way galaxy. And the ancient people thought, it was like this river of souls, and the bird on the top was like the ruler of those souls. So I kind of took that as a starting point and made Cygnus into an actual physical, like a space empire, and basically the rulers of life and death, they decide who lives, who dies, in order to create balance balance, in humans' eyes balance. And by the end of the album, our protagonist, antagonist, he's kind of a bad guy, but the lead character, he ends up saying or finding out that it's just not in humans' nature to create balance, because every time we try to create something, we end up destroying something else. And it just plays on like the whole just existence and life and death, and those are really the underlying elements to what's going on in the story.
So it stemmed from that, and then it became a bigger thing, and it sort of grew into this sort of universe almost.
Yeah. Then I kind of started thinking of more specific things like Teropticon, like the Reaper Squadron.
So do you have like it's like when I was sort of reading up about it and then obviously listening to it, reading the lyrics, sort of, it reminds me a bit of like Arthur C. Clarke, sort of like books, and I don't know if you saw the film, did you see the film Gravity? And there's a bit in it, it's so shit when I say this, it's Sandra Bullock's in it.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. And there's a point in it where it's completely silent and she's just floating in space, like she gets left, she's not on the air, like
she gets like disconnected or something, right?
And I saw it in IMAX in 3D, and it was just completely silent, and it's just like this overwhelming feeling of like, that's it, you're just gonna float like forever, and it's just like, man, that's fun.
In space, no one can hear you scream.
Yeah, pretty much.
No one can hear you thrash. So that's why we have to come down to Earth so people can hear us thrash.
So do you think there would be like that might be something that carries on into future work, or do you think that's done? You've got
like that universe? I don't know. I'd like to say like I want to move on because I drove myself crazy writing that album.
I can imagine.
I don't know. I never know what the heck my brain is going to do. So.
Yeah. You might read something else that sort of feeds on that. Sounds good. So do you do most of the writing, or is it more like a team thing? Or?
Yeah, my band was like, oh yeah, we're going to collaborate on this next one. Nah.
I didn't want to put the work in.
Yeah, I basically like write out the songs and like the theme, and then once I'm done with it, once it's ready, then I kind of give it to my bandmates, and Blake will put in his drums, Frank will do his bass. Eric's guitar is for the most part written, but he writes his own solos. Sometimes he comes up with like a harmony or something, but it's basically a finished song. They get it, and if what they put in is good, then it's 2 thumbs up, and if what they do is like, what, dude, what? No, like sometimes me and Blake will go back and forth on the drums for like months, because he wants to do his own, like, and I'm like, but when I thought of it in my head, it sounded different, so it's kind of hard to let that stuff go.
But generally, you get on creatively, obviously.
Yes.
In some way. I read that Voivod changed their whole tour to like be with you guys.
Yeah, that was an honor.
I bet.
Voivod is one of my all-time favorites, and they have been for like 15 whatever years. They originally asked us to go out on the road with them in like October and November of 2016, or 15, sorry. But it was going to overlap with the tour we had already booked in Europe, so we it's the hardest thing in the world to decline. And then they hit us up mid-tour, and they're like, well, how about if we move our tour to February and to May? And we're like, well, yes, hell yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then they wanted us to also do like the West Coast run of that tour, but Eric was having a baby at the time, so we couldn't. Snake was just like, just bring the kid on the road. Newborn.
Cool. But it worked out all right in the end.
Yeah. It was great.
Pretty amazing, you
half the time.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You know, taking snapshots like, oh yeah, that place was cool. I'll go back there someday.
Yeah. You guys need to come to Scotland.
Yeah.
Like,
so I hear.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So I hear. Everyone's telling you guys to go to Scotland. Yeah. You guys will be well received up there, definitely. And I'm going to see you guys in London with some friends of mine, Cryptic Shift.
Nice.
I'm going to be supporting you guys.
Yeah.
They're massive fans, so I'll shout out to them because they're just in their pants knowing that I'm interviewing you right now.
Well, we gave the thumbs up for them to play that
Yeah.
show. So.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, it was such an honour for them. Yeah.
They're cool.
That'll be awesome. And Executioner as well. They're also playing with you guys in Manchester. They're another awesome band too. Is there anything that we need to look out for specifically in the very near future or do we just need to keep watching your Facebook page and
Just keep watching the Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, we're doing a North American tour, and then we're coming back in the spring for a European tour. So keep your eyes out for keep your calendar open for the springtime.
Oh, really? Okay. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
And is there anything you'd like to say to your fans who are going to be seeing you guys in a little while and throughout the UK on your tour?
Let's see the hair flying. I don't know. Sci-Fi or die, and let's keep the kicking into my microphone and chipping my teeth down to a minimum. All right.
Good safe mail.
Yes.
Yeah.